Welcome back everybody to episode 19 of the Minecraft Let's Play. Thank you very much for joining me today. So as you can see, this is not quite what we usually see. Normally I don't start on the home screen here, but actually I decided to make today's episode a little bit different than usual. Rather than doing things in the Let's Play world, I decided we're going to go ahead and make this episode kind of like a history of me episode, since a lot of you guys are probably wondering how long I've really been playing Minecraft. And if you've seen my earlier episodes, I've actually been playing Minecraft since beta 1.7.3. For anyone who doesn't know, that's before Minecraft was released, and that was the update that they added pistons to the game. So definitely quite a while ago. I checked my original starting, like the day I registered my account on the Minecraft website, minecraft.net, and I registered my account around March of 2014. So it's about 5 years I've been playing this game. Of course, Minecraft has been around a lot longer than that, but I still would call myself a veteran because I've put in quite a few years. And I definitely have some old worlds here that I'd like to show you guys. Some of them you might have seen before. I'm going to just quickly scroll through. A lot of these worlds I've had for a long time, and some of them have actually been corrupted and recovered over time. But I just kind of want to go through some of these worlds and just show you guys kind of my history playing this game. So I'm going to start with some of the worlds that I haven't really spent a lot of time in, and then as we go forward you'll see more and more of the worlds that I've kind of been playing in. So of all the worlds here, though, I would say by far one of the oldest ones I have is this one right here. Looking at the title, the name of the world is called Super Hostile Sea of Flame 2, which was a complete the monument map created, I believe in beta 1.7.3, and I played this map around that time. And as you see, a lot of the stuff around here is going to be very old. Beta 1.7.3, there's no new blocks like stone bricks or anything like that. They don't even have stained glass or anything like that. So this is a complete the monument map, so let me show you the wool monument here. So the way a CTM map works is you go through different challenges, like little areas with monsters, and you gather the wool at the end of the challenge, and then you place the wool in this monument. And as you can see, I've completed most of the challenges except for a few which are really hard in the game. But I'm sure now with like the combat update, this would still be a challenge to implement. Because remember, back in 1.7.3, there was no charge whenever you hit a monster. So I think that actually this is not a 1.7.3 map. This is a pre 1.7.3 because they didn't have enchantments at that time. So this had to have been around the time of the combat update when they first added enchantments to the game. But yeah, so that's kind of like what this map is. I'm not going to go through all of the areas that I've finished or conquered because that just take way too long. But just to give you an idea of how big this map is, the map creator Vex made these crazy long rails that take you all over the map to all the different places. If you're curious to learn more about this map, I would suggest looking up a YouTube Let's Play maybe. But I'm just going to kind of quickly go through this map. So anyways, on to the next one. Alright, so that was pretty interesting. So I used to play a lot of complete the monument / capture the flag maps. They're pretty fun little adventure maps that you do in single player. But I was also quite a builder too. So one of the things that I spent my time doing was just making these creative worlds. And I would just build things, whatever came to mind I would build it. And so this map you're about to see here is pretty small, but it's just an example of some of the stuff I've built. So you can see like this cool little area with trees, and it's got glowstone inside the trees. And then up here are some floating islands, hence the name of this map. It's just called Floating Islands. You can see that I made like a little windmill in the sky here, and it's on this little floating island. And if anybody has seen the song by the Gorillaz, Love Inc., that's what this windmill is inspired by, was that little like windmill that was like going through the sky, and it had the little part that Noodle would sit on top of. So yeah, definitely check out that song if you guys haven't heard it before. It's called Love Inc. by Gorillaz. It's really awesome. So let's go ahead and go on to the next map. Alright, so next on the list is some of the old servers that I used to run with my friends. So back in the day when I played Minecraft, I'd go have a LAN party with my friends where we'd all start a world and we'd all hang out and have fun. So this is one of the worlds I made with my friend named Brent. He and I didn't really spend too much time in this world, but there's still a little bit to see here in this world that's pretty cool. This is definitely another one of those archival worlds that I'm not really going to continue to play on. So what you see here is the inside of my house. It's pretty small, it's like a little cottage, but I love this like little landscape you can see here. It's like a mountain biome, and then I have like this little greenhouse kind of sticking out of my house, and it's got plants here. Definitely a really awesome idea that I think I should implement in a future house. Definitely pretty cool. And I have like a little workstation down here with chests, and I have like a little attic up here with a bed. So it's just a really small house that kind of just gets the job done. Nothing too complex. As you here's my little porch here, and then there's this plains biome right here that he and I started our world in. Over here is like a little mine shaft I made that uses mine carts. Pretty cool. Over here is the beginning of a mob system that was never finished. And then if we take this pathway down, this is like our little starting area with like some just basic chests and amenities to get us started in the world. And then over here is the house that my friend Brent was working on, and he'd made it completely out of dark wood because it's a dark wood forest right next to the house. He made it just out of the regular glass panes, but stained glass had been added to the game. That's why you could see my little windows there. So this is definitely around that time when stained glass was in the game. I definitely think this was after Minecraft was released, because I know that stained glass was not added during the beta era. So yeah, as you can see, it's kind of like a basic little house. Nothing really much to see here. But this is like a LAN world that me and my friends played on together. It was just, you know, fun, and we hung out and did mining and just did whatever, but we never really spent too much time on it, so nothing really came of this world. So anyways, time for the next world. Okay, so this world that I'm loading up right here is another world that I made with my friends, and it's a server world. And yeah, it's like a little more like a LAN world really, because it wasn't like a public server necessarily. But yeah, here's my little house. This is like a little hut that I made, this kind of symmetrical. I've actually had multiple friends play on this world. So I had a friend named Kelton, and he was making that little tree house you see. But what's kind of funny is that it used to be a big, fat, tall tree, but then it kind of burned down. So now in order to get up there, you have to like climb the vines and up this like a little ladder. And then he made like a little diving board that you could jump off of, which is pretty cool. He was also working on building a house right there in the jungle, but that never came to fruition. Here is just some basic farming areas that I made for the community. So we had like a wheat farm, cow farm, sheep farm, all that good stuff. So some of the other friends that I played with on this world, one's name was Jack, and he had some sisters who would also play on this world too. So down here is my tree farm and mine. Now I'm going to take you down to the tree farm real quick. It's just really basic, nothing to see here really. Yeah, anybody could use it. It's kind of a basic tree farm. I didn't really use it that much. But down here is something really cool. I made this mine, but I spent way too much time getting the mine to look perfect. So as you can see here, I painstakingly placed these pillars in my strip mine that nobody would see. And I would always count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. Place a wooden post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I just did that infinitely many times, and it was such a pain. And I just remember I spent hours and hours making this mine. Okay, so over here is the Nether Portal, which is not functioning right now. And we actually went all the way to the end, and we killed the Ender Dragon. And we placed the egg right here, but somehow it went missing. I think one of the other server goers stole the egg or something, so it's probably hidden somewhere. This is the house that Jack's sisters made. Pretty basic. It's just like a jungle wood house, kind of pink looking. But yeah, just some. This place though, around here, all these holes that you see were caused by creeper explosions. Just repeated creeper explosions over and over again that never got filled in. So it's really hard to walk around out here because of all the creeper holes that have just plagued this land. It's gotten to the point where like even the buildings are starting to get destroyed. So like here's another building that was holding stuff that got destroyed. We built this little like furnace room for all men or women who need to smelt, not for children because they hurt themselves. Little smelting area. Yeah, we love to put these little jokes around the base and everything. Here's Jack's house. Not really anything to see here, but you could... It was like a little automatic wheat farm or something right there. I remember I helped him build this cocoa bean farm, which got blown up by a creeper, oddly enough. But yeah, you could place cocoa beans on this log, and then you press this button to harvest them. Yeah, it doesn't really work because it got blown up, but down here is a skeleton farm, which was basically just like a mine, but there's a minecart that would take you down there, and you could use a skeleton farm. Really, not really much to see, but definitely a cool place. So yeah, me and my friends, we spent a lot of time on this server, getting blown up by creepers too. Let's see if I can get this guy. He's gonna try to get me. Yeah, so you can see that creepers are definitely an issue on the server, but we, yeah, if I ever use the server in the future, I'm definitely going to turn off mob griefing, because otherwise, like, this place would just look so much nicer without it. But just kind of like an all-around, just like fun little world that I spent my time with my friends on. It was a pretty cool experience. Definitely spent a lot of time just making it look nice and kind of getting the aesthetics going on here. But yeah, nice to have, but again, this is probably just one of those archival worlds that I like to show off every now and then. So, anyways, on to the next world. Alright, so I've shown you guys some of the worlds that I've played on way back when with my friends and kind of by myself. But the worlds that I'm about to show you now are worlds that I've actually spent a significant amount of time on. And some of them are very, very old. So I'm going to start with this creative world that I've had probably since the adventure update, which I believe is beta 1.8.4. And I remember that when I first made this world, it turned into a swamp biome, but then in a later update, it became a tundra biome. So right now we're starting in the inside of my cute little creative world house. Remember, this is a creative world, so I just use this for experimentation. But yeah, here's my little starting area here. And as you can see, there is snow everywhere, there are contraptions everywhere. This place is just an absolute mess, as you can see. There's just a lot going on here. I'm not going to show you all of the machines here because there's just not enough time to do that, but I can definitely give you an overrun. So a lot of the stuff you see here is just aesthetic. Maybe some redstone machines here. So like this used to be a micro farm that would use updating light sources to harvest the items. Nowadays we use, for micro farms, we actually use pistons to update the items now. And that's how you got wheat really fast back in the day. It's a micro farm. So this here is a cobblestone generator. Very basic, nothing really to see here. But yeah, I just kind of like love to experiment and make all these cool things. Like I had like a furnace that you could detect with a bud switch. Back in the day, like the OG bud switch, which was like from Ethos Lab days, is you would use a boat back when they didn't suck. Actually, no, boats sucked a lot more back then, actually, because they would break against blocks. But it'd use a boat on a pressure plate that would update this water block, and it'd detect whenever you placed a block there. So you could use that to like detect when a furnace had finished with all of its items. So, but this doesn't work anymore, as you can see. The water just kind of flows wherever it wants to. But yeah. Over here is what used to be a piston elevator. It doesn't work anymore. You can see I just kind of doesn't work, but the pistons would push you up these stairs like this, and you'd just be facing one direction. I wouldn't be touching the keys or anything, and then I could get to the top of my little area. One of the cool things I like to do is like do stuff with pistons too. So this is a block swapper, and you could use this to have like hidden crafting benches. And I got it to work in multiple directions, so I could go into walls or I could go onto the floor. This one worked above you, so you could have like one in the ceiling that was hidden. This is pretty cool stuff there. This is a ice farm. So here's like how the system would work. You'd throw your furnace here, it would go across the ice, it would pick up the ice and throw it into this little column. So it's like a little automatic ice machine, which is pretty cool. Of course, there's much better ways of doing this nowadays, but definitely a cool little thing that I came up with. This right here is a working TNT cannon, and this one actually is pretty good. So you do is you place TNT in this little column right here, and that line of redstone would ignite the TNT, and then you'd have another piece of TNT that would get blasted by this TNT off into the distance. So let me show you how it all works. It's actually pretty cool. You see all the TNT gets lit, and then it gets pushed to the engine of the water. And as you can see, I don't know if you saw that, but the TNT got launched. Last thing I want to show you guys is this cool little experiment when I discovered that you could place blocks above the block limit in Minecraft, which is really funny. Somehow, let's see, I got to get back to the world here. Okay, so as I was saying, I basically grew a bunch of jungle trees because I was lazy and didn't want to place blocks. I grew a bunch of jungle trees all the way up here to the world, to the top of the world, and I actually discovered that you can't place blocks above 256, right? Okay, so the top of the world has been increased by 1 block. So it used to be that you could place cobblestone using water and lava, which are tile entities, which you'd place on the ground, and it would create cobblestone above block height 256. I don't know if this works anymore, because if you can't place signs anymore above it, it'd be hard to control the water. But I think it might work. Let me see if I can get it to work. Okay, so I've been experimenting here in my old creative world, oddly enough, and I have discovered that it is impossible to place lava or water above that height level. So what used to be possible no longer is. In the past, you used to be able to place blocks above level 256 or 255, I believe, using water and lava to create cobblestone, but that is no longer the case. Anyways, that's pretty much everything to see in this world. Oh, there's one more thing I want to show you. Yeah, that was inspired by Etho's lab too, which is pretty cool. I love to make little no block contraptions. So, anyway, so a lot of the things that I experimented with in this world are ideas that I used for my single player world, which I'm about to show you, which is probably the oldest one that I still have. But without further ado, let's go ahead and go into that world. Alright, here's the world. Yes, I know, the name is Fart. And yes, I know it's very immature, but that's the way it was. When I was a kid, I thought it was hilarious if I would name my Minecraft world Fart, so that's what I did. Oh my goodness, I was so immature back then, but please excuse that. This is probably the oldest world I have in my hard drive. I know I started this world in the adventure update right when after they had added strongholds and swamps to the game, which is, I believe, beta 1.8.4. So this is around the same age of the creative world, but I remember I made this one before the creative world. And as you can see, it's got some of the old terrain. It's got like the original OG Minecraft forest biomes there. There's some swampland here. Yeah, so what I'm inside right now is a floating island, which is a house, kind of like a little mini home here. So here it is. This is everything you just saw. Pretty cool. This is before stained glass, so all the glass in this world is pre-stained glass. Pretty old stuff. A lot of this is based off of old mechanics that no longer work in the game anymore. So, anyway, so this island was one of the first floating islands I ever made. And it actually came out pretty nicely. What you see here is a mob system. I went underground and I just dug out a gigantic dark room, and mobs would float on from the dark room, like onto these spawning paths, onto water, and then the water, they would float up the water to this little spot right here, and then they get sorted, like the skeletons from the zombies, from the spiders, from the creepers. All of them would get sorted in this machine right here. And then I'd use them for different purposes. So like I made a system where I could put a skeleton right there, and then put a bunch of creepers in front of them, and then I have the skeleton shoot the creepers and kill them, and then I'd get records from all that, which is pretty awesome. I also had like a system where they'd go up the water and they'd take fall damage. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they would take fall damage, and you could harvest them from experience. But whenever I wasn't using the mob system for that purpose, I could turn it off so that they would just drown and I could collect their items. And so they'd come up this column, and then they'd go to the right, and then they would drown in that little 2x2 2x2 of water, and then their items would float down here onto this pressure plate. And what would happen is, when an item hit this pressure plate, this dispenser would drop some rotten flesh onto that pressure plate. And when that rotten flesh despawned, I would have a system here that would notify me that items are despawning. And if you look there, you see that torch right there? That torch would turn on when this rotten flesh got destroyed. So let me show you what it looks like when there is rotten flesh. So when the rotten flesh is on the pressure plate, that torch would turn off, which it doesn't seem to be working right now. Interesting. Well, I guess it's still broken, but again, I have like redstone underwater here and everything like that. But yeah, back in the day, that would turn off, like that torch would turn off when there's an item on the pressure plate, and then when it despawned, it would turn on like it is right now. But anyways, yeah, I had like a note blocks and everything, so this is before there was hoppers in the game. So this was how you would collect your items, is every 5 minutes you'd just come and pick them up by hand and store them. So I remember I used this machine very extensively back when monsters behaved and they would actually swim up water columns. But now that is no longer the case. Only creepers and spiders would actually go up these water columns. So in order to get skeletons or zombies, I would have to use the soul sand in the water to make it happen. But yeah, this world is so old that the Nether Portal frame is no longer filled in. But I'd use the Nether to travel around too. This is like some just basic amenities like farm stuff. This is my original house, which I built over the water. That goes down to the mob spawning system. This right here is like, I spent most of my time in this house doing things. I had like a little to-do list over here, so I had like a sheep farm and ender pearls and go to the end and kill the ender dragon. And I had like some of the eyes of ender ready already. So like, as you can see, I went to the nether and collected everything to go kill the ender dragon. Pretty cool stuff. This is like all my items, all my good stuff here. I got a ton of records from that machine I was showing you earlier. Got some grass blocks and silk touch, which came later in the game. Maps. This is pretty cool. Here's a map of my world, so right there is where I'm at. And then if you look up there to the left-hand corner, you'll see like a little dark brown area. It turns out I used to play modded Minecraft a lot, and I accidentally went into this world while I was using one of those mods, and I generated some chunks from that mod, and that's what that area is it's like literally like a desert slash like a newly generated death world biome. It's hard to explain, but it's like the mod was based on like the apocalypse had come and you had to survive the apocalypse and you had to like find seeds and grow wheat, and yeah, it was definitely an interesting mod, but I digress and continue on with the world demonstration here. So down here was a little minecart rail which would take me down to, let's see what we have here. We have a little underground base here. The underground base had a, whoops, it had a enchanting area, and I could select the different types of enchantments using that. Over here is like a little pumpkin slash melon farm. This is based on like the one that Etho made in his world. Pretty good stuff. And I could store all my pumpkins and melons in here. Over here is like automatic Cactus Farm. We didn't have hoppers, so I had to manually place these in the chest. So snow golem there. All those monsters you hear are monsters inside the mob system, but unfortunately it doesn't work anymore, so they just kind of sit there. Here's an underground tree farm I made. Over here is an OG semi-automatic wheat farm that used pistons holding back water. So I never used dispensers because they didn't have the functionality that they have now, and I would use the pistons to harvest the wheat. I shouldn't have done that because now all my wheat got destroyed, but yeah, I could place it back down and all that stuff. Let's see here. There's one more thing around here. I can't remember where it is. It's around here somewhere. It's like a secret little button. I can't remember what it is. I had this like little secret area that I could swim to. Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh no. Okay, so press this button, and then you go into this little area. I remember this now. This is like my secret little area, and there's that dog that's whimpering. I don't have any food for you, except for this rotten flesh. Hopefully I'll make him whine a little less, but yeah, this is like my little area down here. It got burned away because of the lava, which is kind of funny. I just had some like various secret things here, but one of the cool things I put back here was a secret door. Oh no! Oh, it's not there. Dang it. Oh, I know why. I didn't explain to you guys what happened. So, the story is that back in the day, I was playing Minecraft on this really old computer. It was like a Pentium 2 computer. There's a creeper face if you're wondering. A Pentium 2, Intel Pentium 2 computer that didn't even have a graphics card. So like I was playing the game at like an average of 12 to 15 FPS, like barely playable, like frame by frame. I played this game. I made this entire world on that computer. This is before I even had my laptop. And what had happened is that computer's hard drive got corrupted, and so I lost a lot of the data from the Minecraft files. And this is one of those worlds that got affected by it. Now, luckily, I was smart and I had backups of most of my worlds except for one, which I have never been able to find even on like the old hard drives back at home. To this day, I have not been able to find these old Minecraft worlds. But yeah, I had this one old world that was like the first one I ever made. Was in like Minecraft Beta 1.7.3, and that was before like any of the stuff you see here, before the adventure update. And I lost that world, and I lost the updated version of this world too. And in the updated version, I had like a little secret door back there, and it had the Ender Dragon egg. Well, I was planning on putting the Ender Dragon egg back there. I hadn't killed the Ender Dragon in this world. And then just like one of like all the cool blocks that you could get in the game, so like a diamond ore, redstone ore, all that cool stuff. I was going to put like a little secret thing back there, but alas, it never happened. Unfortunately, because of the hard drive corruption. And yeah, as I was referring to in the other world, the hard drive corruption affected that one as well. So yeah, I lost a lot of data from some of these older worlds because of that hard drive corruption, unfortunately. So this ladder goes all the way back up to my house here, and it kind of brings me back to where I had started everything. This is like the oldest world I have on my hard drive, and I haven't been able to find the old one. So this is like the most back to like the old OG Minecraft days that I can get. But one of the cool things I wanted to do in these worlds was make towers every like 100 or so blocks away from my main base here, is like little mini bases. And so this one was called the Central Tower. And I had another tower that I could go to using these minecarts. So I'm going to show you another tower I built when I explored the area. So this is called the North Tower. So what I would do is I would select the destination I want to go to using these levers. Press this minecart button. Oh, it looks like it's not working. Okay, well I'll have to grab a minecart then. Yeah, it looks like I don't have a minecart around here. I'll be right back and go get a minecart. Alright, so I have a minecart here. So what I would do is I would press this button, and then a minecart that would sit right there would come over here, and I'd get in the minecart. Whoops. And I'd get in the minecart, and then this thing would push me. Whoops. Looks like the system doesn't work anymore very well. But what it would do is the minecart would go forward. It would get pushed into this block right here, which would get pushed by this piston onto that rail. That prevented the minecart from leaving on its own without me inside of it. And then it would take me along this route right here, and I'd be sent along the correct path to get to... Uh-oh. Wow, minecarts have really been updated since the old days. Man, the system doesn't even work anymore, which is kind of disappointing. Well, if everything had worked as intended, which it has not, unfortunately, what would happen is I would ride this minecart. It would take me up this rail right here. So let me go ahead and get to the top of it. And push me along this rail, which is elevated above all the monsters, so that I couldn't get attacked. And as you can see, I just travel along this rail and it would take me to towers. Looks like we're getting a little bit of lag right now. Okay, so coming up here is... Whoa! Wow, looks like this one got lost too. Look at that. That is something else. Wow, look at that. Look at this area. It's not even... Wow, wow, that's incredible. There used to be a tower that I built here. Wow, and it got destroyed. That's incredible. That is truly incredible. There used to be a tower here and a skeleton spawner, and that rail would go into the tower and the skeleton spawner, and then I could kill skeletons and sit in the tower, but it's not here anymore. Wow, I didn't know that. Man, this world really did get corrupted, didn't it? Because like this whole area is like newly generated. This is like new chunks here. Like that's old chunks right there. Right here, man, that data must have been deleted there. Man, that's really unfortunate when you come across things like that. But yeah, you can see right there it got cut off. I guess like in the process of moving the world files, it just didn't get saved, which is really unfortunate, to be honest. But yeah, I could take these minecarts to different places in the map. I hope that there's at least one more. There's another tower I built. I hope that one didn't get destroyed either. I'm going to go check on that real quick too. Alright, looks like this area got saved, but the other area did not, oddly enough. But I remember I built this tower before that tower, so that's probably why this other tower, the older tower, did not get saved. It got corrupted. Wow. So yeah, I built a tower here out in this desert, northeastern tower, and I just come out here to collect sand and to go exploring. And I remember that there was another tower I built in that direction towards the end portal, but I don't know if that still exists anymore. I'll go check that out too. But yeah, this is another tower I built. This is like the first one I ever built too. And yeah, I just would use this like a little outpost for when I wanted to go collect sand. So anyways, I'm going to head back and check one more time to see if there is that nether base, or the end base that I was looking for previously. Yeah, so I just checked and there is no rail system to the end portal either, which is really crazy, because I remember I built like a small little base near the end portal and everything, and I think all that data has been lost, which is incredible. I did not realize the extent to which the hard drive corruption had affected this world. I remember there was a lot of other things that got lost here, like I made 2 or 3 more floating islands out there, and I was planning on putting books inside of them that are like written and had like poems that I had written and all kinds of cool stuff, and it just never happened. I think it all got lost, unfortunately, which is really unfortunate. Like this world is lacking some of the things that I had spent so much time working on, but it just goes to show the importance of doing regular backups in your Minecraft world. In fact, all of the data that you see in this Minecraft world is being saved in the cloud. I'm using Dropbox to save all of my Minecraft worlds automatically. So if my hard drive goes kaput, none of my Minecraft worlds will ever be harmed because everything's being saved in Dropbox. So that's pretty cool, nice to have. But yeah, for the most part, that's everything to see in this world, unfortunately. Everything that was here previously seems to have been lost, unfortunately. This is what I have left of that world, unfortunately. But yeah, if I ever do find an old hard drive and it just happens to have any of those old worlds, I'll definitely show it to you guys. But yeah, unfortunately, a lot of it seems to be lost. So let's see here. So I've shown you guys most of the single-player worlds and the group worlds that I have done to this point. But there's actually one more world that I have not shown you guys yet that I started after Minecraft was released. In fact, I started it, what was it? Was it 1.8? Minecraft 1.8 or 1.7.3, I believe, is when I started that world. The release of Minecraft 1.7.3, not beta 1.7.3, but the actual release of Minecraft. and that is my single-player world, which I still play to this day, actually, a little bit here and there, and I'm definitely think you guys will get something out of it. So let me go ahead and show that to you guys. Okay, guys, the moment you've been waiting for, my single-player world. And it's not much at first. It's actually quite extensive when you look at everything. Okay, so what you see here is my mainland base. And I'll kind of explain to you in a little bit what I mean by that. But this is just a very basic house, nothing really to see here. But I spent a lot more time on aesthetics in this world, as you can see. I used these like little pumpkins with carpets above them to place light sources so I didn't have to see torches everywhere. I took the time to make my farms look nice. I made a stable with horses in it. A lot of nice stuff here. I'm going to just quickly go through everything we have here. So, there's my upstairs area right here. It's all carpeted. I have maps here. So, this is my base right here. That's the stable right there, and that's a little dock right there. That's a sheep farm and a cow farm, and then over there is the mainland beginning area. And over here is my little bedroom. Not much to see. A few maps. Over here is a little armory with an emergency chest right here in case I die. Attic doesn't have anything inside of it. It's just empty. Down here in the lower level is my basement. Here I have an enchanting station, just my work area. I have some stuff smelting away here in this furnaces, which uses hoppers to automatically feed it and everything. Got all my chests sorted and everything. Just very super basic stuff. Right here is an automatic cactus farm. Let's see, there it is. And you can see all these cactuses that are coming up here. It's being fed by a minecart with chest. That's being automatically filled. Let me show you. Right here. So you see this minecart right here? It's being filled with cactus. And when that line right there fills up, it's going to send off the cactus back to the top of the world. And then it's going to unload all the cactus, and it'll come back down here on that little minecart loop you see here. And it'll fill up with cactus again. And the cactus are coming from this little cactus farm right here. And you can just see a cactus got harvested and went inside the minecart. Here's a top view of the cactus farm. Right here. And then the minecart would travel up these, this is a spiral staircase for the minecart. And then it'd go up to here, where it would get unloaded with a hopper, right there. And then when it's done being unloaded, it'd go back down to the bottom. Pretty cool. It's all fully automatic. I don't have to do anything. Really nice to have. Over here are my stables. And inside are various horses, which I have bred and or tamed for different purposes. So this right here is my fastest horse, and just works all around. I have some skeleton horses from when I killed some some skeleton attacks. I have myself a really hardy horse, which has a lot of hearts. I have a fast horse, and then I have a really high jumper of a horse, and I'm going to try to breed them all together and make like the best horse in the world. And then I can use this horse to kind of get around if I need to. Over here is a little pathway that goes to something really, really cool. Okay, so down here by the dock, I go underwater, and underwater here is really, really incredible, like very, very lucky assortment of spawners. I have to go all the way down here. Let me introduce you to the quadruple spider spawner. So, believe it or not, this is actually technically 5 spawners, but that one's not close enough to the other ones. I did the math. This is what I call the quadruple spider spawner. Well, the quadruple spawner with the extra one right there that doesn't work. So there's a spider spawner here, cave spiders. One there, and then there's the skeleton spawner right there, which I can't really use. And what I'm trying to do, as you can see this is not finished, is get all of these spiders to funnel into one area. Right, they'd spawn here and they'd all funnel down here. And they'd all go to this little elevator that'd take them back up to the top. And they'd all funnel into that one little spot right there that you see. And then I would stand here and I would kill the spiders and get experience from them. And where I'm standing right here is just in range of that spawner, and that spawner right there. You can see all three of them are spinning. But unfortunately there is no range that's close enough to the skeleton spawner over there, so that one doesn't work. But I will make a separate system for that one, of course. So yeah, very lucky. It's very rare that you ever see this many spawners this close to each other. And especially with three of them within range of each other. So this is all completely random. Like, this was never like intended part of the world that I found, which is really incredible. So yeah, something I definitely want to work on getting to work. It's definitely going to be harder since all three of them need to kind of blend together into one. But I definitely think it's doable. And then I'd have a separate spawner here for the skeleton, because if I stand within range of the skeleton spawner, I won't be in range within that one, and that one, and that one. So you can see, like, the skeleton spawner here is spinning, that one right there is spinning, that one in there is not spinning, and that one is not spinning. But when I get just close enough to those ones, see, those ones start spinning, but then the skeleton spawner isn't spinning anymore because I'm too far away. So it's not possible to get all four of them to work together. But all three spider spawners will work together, and then I can do one separately for the skeleton spawner, which is pretty cool nonetheless. But yeah, that was really lucky. Like, I had never in my life have I ever found that many spawners that close to each other. Alright, so we're back in the main area here. If I follow this path, it just goes to the mainland. There's nothing over there. But if I follow this path and go back to my house, there's actually a path that goes to my animal farms over here. And I have like a big fat sheep farm and a big fat cow farm over here. And I have another path going to the other mainland in that direction. And I can definitely use all of these islands for different purposes. But as you can see, like, I built along with the style of the swamp biome here. And tried to kind of utilize the land the way it was intended to be used, rather than kind of like carving it out artificially, making it all look bad. The whole idea of like my building style is to like make the building style match the land that you're in, kind of get everything to look nice. So anyways, that's pretty much everything here in the mainland base. So this is like one of like the side areas of this world, but it's not actually the main attraction. It may not look like much right here, but once I go in this Nether Portal, you'll see what I'm talking about. So what you see here is a very intricate minecart system. I have minecarts going to all over the place. Like, I have a minecart going to a mesa biome where I can mine hardened clay. And I have a minecart here going to the main station. I wonder what the main station is. Why don't we hop in and just see for ourselves. Alright, we're almost here to the main station. And what do I mean by main station? Well, it's the main station. It's where everything is. This is where the main part of the base is. Oh jeez, that gas somehow saw me. Anyways, there is a lot here. So, there's the mainland base and mesa biome, which I can take with this minecart. That journey right there is about 3 or 4 minutes long, so... Then I have a nether fortress with a blaze and wither farm, which I use to go get wither skulls so I can make beacons. And yes, I have killed the ender dragon in this world. And then this portal right here, everything else here is unused, takes me to the main base, which you're about to see in just a second. Welcome everybody to the main base. And you must be looking around and like, wow, look at all that ocean. Why is there a villager in the water? Why is there a skeleton horse? Why do I have haste? Why is that big thing in the sky? Well, rest assured everybody, where you are right now is an island. That's right, an island. This entire base was purposely built on an island. So everything you see around me is just ocean, for chunks and chunks and chunks. Probably hundreds and hundreds of chunks. All around is just ocean. That's right, I chose this specific seed to be an island because I wanted to have a world with an island, and I had to survive on that island by myself. And that's exactly what this is. Everything you see here is my main base. But there's so much more to it than what you see here, because this is just the surface. Of course, I have my monster system right there. The monsters spawn and they fall down and they die right there. And I have my iron golem farm with villagers and iron golems that spawn. And of course I have my floating sky village, which has lots of great villagers inside of there, which I'm continuing to expand. And occasionally villagers do fall off, which is unfortunate. And yeah, this entire system you see here has taken me hours and hours and hours to build. It all started with just this little tiny brick house, and has grown to be so much more. So, you might be wondering, what's that circular column, that spiral? Well, that's actually a minecart system that takes me around to all the places. So, before I get to that, let me show you everything I have here. So I have a cow farm, which was really difficult to get the cows here because none of them spawned here to begin with. There's this chicken farm, which I had to use a baby zombie riding a chicken to get started. And it's been working nicely ever since I began it. And then I have, of course, my mob system here, which regularly produces drops. And I have a beacon here that gives me haste, so I can do lots and lots of mining. One of the first things I built in this world is a well. I have a door here that requires a button to open for some reason, even though monsters never spawn here. I have just various rooms that are not being used anymore. That used to be a furnace room. Just a bunch of empty rooms here. A little dining area. And of course my super duper bedroom with my to-do list and my monster egg, or correction, my dragon egg. I got my minecarts and everything. My records, not minecarts. Alright. So then down here is everything else. Voila. Let me show you the automatic storage system, complete with hoppers and water. So, no, it's not working. It doesn't work 100%. It just sorts a few items, like cobblestone and gravel and sand. But in the future, it could potentially store every single item in the game, which is really awesome. And I go down here all the time to collect items. Like you can see, just these chests are just full of things that I've collected over time. And then I have these signs here telling me what it is I'm actually going to be putting inside these chests. Curious where all this iron is coming from? That's right, the iron golem farm feeds directly into this system. So all of the iron goes in here, and all the poppies go in here as well. Pretty cool. Here are the guts of the system. As you can see, it's all very intricate, and it uses packed ice to feed all the minecarts. When this thing is done, there's going to be water currents that are going to push the items along that ice path, and all the items are going to get sorted. And as you can see, each one is going to use these little item sorters and hoppers to collect all the items and pick them up. But what's even cooler is that you can sort multiple items in one chest using this hopper design. So the items will flow along this trail right here. They'll get picked up by these hoppers, and they'll get sorted. And then the hoppers are pointed into each other, so they'll all go down into the same chest. So I can have multiple of the same item in one chest, rather than having to have one chest or series of chests allocated for one item. Because I'm never going to have like more than like 64 poppies, or correction, dandelions. So I don't need to have an entire row of chests dedicated just to like dandelions and useless items. So my plan is to have a bunch of these hopper sorting systems chained together, feeding all of these chests. And what's really cool is you can like chain them together such that this row of chests and this row of chests are being fed by the same sorting system. And so this water and packed ice will carry the items around. And when everything is said and done, it'll travel around the length of all these chests. It'll travel the length of all these chests and come right back around to the beginning area, which is pretty cool. Right here is where it all begins. So that's one of the big projects I've always wanted to finish, but I never have and may never will. Another project that I worked on is an automatic brewing system, which you can see I've dedicated a lot of time and energy into. So I have these chests that are allocated for specific items, and I have these wires that would be used to trigger these droppers and drop the items into these water streams, and then the water streams would all converge together, and then they would all be fed into these mine carts. It's really incredible. Look at that. I have just these gigantic chests just filled with items, water bottles, fuel for the mine carts, or for the brewing stands. I have locked repeaters to control which items, the main ingredient, would go in there. It's all really crazy. And then what would happen is the ingredients would go along these minecart rails and would feed into this nether wart brewing system. So they would go along here on this trail, and they go inside these hoppers. And those hoppers would feed, let me see if I can get in here. Those hoppers would feed into brewing stands, and then I would collect the items from the brewing stands myself, and I could use them. So it'd be like an automatic brewing system. Again, this doesn't work, but it would use minecarts to fuel them. It would use minecarts to give them the items. Everything would be done automatically. All I would have to do is just go down here to the selector panel and just put in what I want. So I can do drop one item, start the machine, which is you drop the main ingredient and then you start the machine. It's gunpowder, glowstone, all the modifiers. There's actually more that needs to go in here. I left one empty. You could have it do 13 items or one item. It was so elaborate. But unfortunately, it never really came to fruition. And I could use this piston to get back up here to the top. I have an enchanting system right here. I can enchant, and then when I'm done, I can go back to the top. And then I could use this button to close it off. So it was a hidden enchanting area, a hidden brewing area right here. And then over here I would probably put a snow golem right there or something. There was just so much stuff I wanted to pack in this tight little storage system. And it just all works together so nicely. But how do I get from place to place? Well, I have this very elaborate minecart system that would get me from place to place very efficiently and very quickly. So here comes the minecart. Unfortunately, it's not working 100% correctly, but I could call the minecart and it'd come down here. And I would take this minecart to go from auto sorter to the main hub to the slime farm to all these locations. Alright, so here is the main hub. And inside this minecart, I can click all of these buttons, and they'll take me to each of the locations as written on them. So I have a cave spider farm. I have a strip mine. I have the auto sorter in the slime farm where I just came from. I have a zombie spawner and a sky village, which I use a zombie spawner for experience, and I use a sky village for villagers. And I actually started the village using villager zombies that would spawn inside the zombie spawner, but that doesn't work anymore. I also even have a rail that goes all the way to the end portal, which is actually not too far away from this base either, and the sugarcane farm. There's a lot of stuff here that I could go to. Let's go ahead and go to the cave spiders farm, because that's one of the cool ones that I built. Welcome to the cave spider farm. So when I go in here, you can see a little enchanting area, some chests, and then this thing. It's a dual spawner cave spider farm, and what happens is I can turn off the lights here, and what will happen is this cave spiders will spawn in that dark area, and they'll all flow into this one little area right here. And they'll all go up into this one little, one block column right here. And it looks like with the changes to the water mechanics, it doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. But it used to work really nicely where they would all go into this one little column right here. But Alas, it doesn't seem to work anymore. I might have to change the system. Oh, it looks like they'll walk in there by themselves. So, but what happens is like the cave spiders would go into this little block right here. And then when I'm ready, what I would do is I'd get all of them into that one little spot. And then when I wanted to kill them, I would turn this on so that no more could get inside there. And then I press this button right here, crush them, and it would do just the right amount of damage to them, so I could kill them in one hit. Of course, they could also reach me as well, so I had to be a little bit careful, and then I could press this button again to get the items. And then when that's done, I could lift this back up, and then they can go in back in there again. So the system needs to be fixed, but I've used it a lot, and I mean, I just look at all the spider eyes and string that I got from it, so definitely a good system. Alright, without further ado, let's continue on with the journey. So, there's nothing really to see at the strip mine, but I definitely want to show you the zombie spawner in the Sky Village. So, the zombie spawner used to be to convert villagers, like zombie villagers, into actual real villagers. But that doesn't work anymore. That mechanic was removed. And so when that mechanic was removed, I converted it back into like a regular... Oh, looks like it got sent back to the cave spider farm. That mechanic doesn't work anymore. So I just converted it into a regular experience-based zombie spawner. But there's really no point of me doing that because this cave spider farm works much better. So, let's actually click that button. There you go. Alright, so I have this little selector panel. So I started from the house, so I want to click this button right here. And here is my zombie experience farm, which is, I definitely spent a lot of time to go above and beyond and make it look really nice. Check this out. Look at this whole system. It's got an enchanting station, it's got these really nice chests and everything. It's got the zombie spawner right there, a light switch. This whole system is automated perfectly. So, what happens is, zombies spawn, they go into this water column. Oh, this is not going to work anymore because they don't float up the water anymore, unfortunately. I'll have to fix that too. But they would float up the water, they'd go along here, and they'd go to this little spot right here, and they'd all kind of clamber in, and they'd all bunch up in this area. And because of the mob cramming limit, when about 20 zombies got on there, this system would automatically crush them. And then I could also use this to toggle when the zombies would go in and out. The whole system was completely automatic. But I also had semi-automatic controls here. And then when the zombies were done being crushed, I could just kill them in one hit. It works pretty much exactly like the skeleton spawner that I showed you in the other world. But this was like the first time I ever did that. And it works pretty nicely. As you can see, I haven't really used it as much as I have with the other systems. So, anyways, it's really cool. It's really got the nice aesthetic and everything. But unfortunately, it doesn't work anymore. A lot of stuff got broken in the aquatic update. So, alright, so now we're at the zombie spawner and we want to go to the Sky Village, so we're going to press this button. And then now, we're going to go up that spiral column that I showed you in the beginning. We're going to go all the way up here to the top of the Sky Village. And here we have the minecart collection system, so I start here, and then I can take this little trapdoor here and get up into it. So this whole system is closed off so the villagers can't get down there. So here is the actual Sky Village, and I've spent a lot of time getting this place to look really nice. It's got doors everywhere. Like, I literally placed a door in every single side of all the houses so I can get as many villagers to spawn here as possible. I have... See, some of these houses are not occupied, but they're all hiding right now because it's nighttime. But yeah, I have villagers from all types around here. I got the useless green coat villagers. I have the toolsmiths here. I have the armor smiths here. This guy right here is a leather worker. I have some librarians too. I remember I just recently built this house. That was like the last thing I built. I have librarians and cartographers. So like everything here I spent a lot of time working on. These guys are confused. They can't find their way into one of the houses. That's a shepherd right there. Over here I have a iron golem in case like a zombie attack ever happens, which can happen, by the way, even in like well-lit areas. All my villagers are in this one little house right here. I can trade with them. So, but yeah, this is just a nice little village floating in the sky that I built just completely on my own. I just like thought, hey, what if we take that floating island concept and then turned it into a Minecraft village? And it all just seems to work out really nicely. It's a little bit harder than other villages though, because I have to literally build all of the islands for all of the villagers. But yeah, looks really nice. And then down here is a bunch of doors too. So yeah, as you can see, I've spent a lot of time and energy on this world. It's definitely one of my favorite ones. I've spent a lot of just time and enjoyed myself doing it. So, but yeah, that's pretty much everything that there is to see in this world. There's also that rail to the Ender Portal, but there's really not much to see there. It's just a little tiny base. It doesn't really have any interesting spawners or anything like that. I've always wanted to make a silverfish spawner, but that never really happened. So, oh, I also have the sugarcane farm. I want to show you guys the sugarcane farm. Alright, so here's the sugarcane farm. This whole system right here is supposed to be automatic. It uses a daylight sensor to break all of the sugarcane. But as you can see, it's not really been doing anything because I haven't been in the world long enough. And it looks like there is spots that the zombies can spawn in. I might need to address that. But this is like the same idea that I want to implement in my Let's Play world right here. The same kind of system right here. And I want it to be really, really gigantic. So let's go ahead and harvest. Ooh, look at all that lag. Yeah, and I want it all to kind of collect into these little spots. Let's see right here. I'm not really sure where all the items go. I built this so long ago I don't remember. But looks like it all goes down there to the left. Okay, so here it is. I accidentally broke something. But yeah. Whoops. So how this works is the items get collected into this hopper, and then there would be a minecart with chest right here that would collect the sugarcane. And then when it fills up to a certain point, right there, when this is filled like to the brim, then it'll be sent off here to the storage system right here, and that rail goes all the way to the storage system right there. I wonder where all the items went. Oh, you know what it is? Yeah, that's what it is. Huh. The minecart with chest got filled. So the way it works is when this hopper goes empty, it sends off the minecart with chest. So when it's done harvesting, it'll send off the minecart with chest, which is pretty cool. The whole system is fully automatic. But yeah, that's pretty much everything to see here. You might see this kind of automatic design implemented in other farms as well. So, alright guys, so that's everything, really. That's all of the worlds I have on my hard drive. I can't find any more, and I think I covered all of them. So, that's pretty much everything. That's like the history of me in a nutshell. Again, that hard drive corruption that happened so many years ago made me lose the first ever Minecraft world I ever made, which was in beta 1.7.3. So that world is lost pretty much forever, unless I somehow find it like an old hard drive. But this is like the only single-player world, or the only Minecraft world I have that I still kind of actively use every now and then. But even then, like I haven't played this world since 1.12, really. And so like all the systems are kind of broken and need to be fixed. But that's just the way Minecraft is. New updates come out, and then you gotta fix things that break because of them and all that stuff. But yeah, kind of unfortunate that I don't really play Minecraft as much as I used to. I have a lot of fond memories of things I did, but you know, it's just the way the world is. So anyways, that's pretty much everything that I had planned for this episode. Definitely wanted to be more of like a nostalgic blast from the past kind of episode. So definitely hope you guys enjoyed the little like world demos and everything. So please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Maybe leave some ideas for future episodes if you guys want to see them. But definitely, yeah, thank you so much for all the support that you guys have given me. Thank you for all the support and all the comments and subscriptions and just the helpful feedback you guys give me on this series. Definitely appreciate every bit of it. So, but without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, everybody.